didn't even put in baby. I'm having a pretty
Hello.
rough day. I
Sorry, you guys
apologize.
missed Freedom Baby.
We did. How you guys all doing? My apologies.
Oh, I need to check the comments. I'm not even in the comments. There we
Yes.
go.
Yes. How you guys all doing? We've had a crazy, crazy week.
Hmm.
And it was kind of an interesting thing. I mean, first of all, we had a long weekend. Probably start off with that. It was kind of interesting because I know I myself, like many people, take the nice 4-day long weekend by taking an extra 5-day. And I figured it was going to be quite kind of a quiet week. And it's one of those where it's like, yeah, there's not too much going on. There's not too much going on. There's not too much. Where the hell did all this stuff go on? Thank you very much, Magic Cat. Where the hell did all this shit come from? And there was a lot. And
Yeah,
I mean, there was the events, there was some trial stuff, there were some other changes.
there was this weekend at the Hill.
There
There
was
is,
recover.
yeah,
Um, there was my birthday, I guess.
happy birthday.
It was. It came and it went. It was quite. It's a little. So I'll tell most people here. It was a bit of a significant one. You know, it's changing of a decade, changing of a passing a line, passing a mark, and but it didn't really sort of. I don't know. I've never been a
Doesn't
birthday
feel
person.
different. Yeah, me neither.
Like it's sort of like, you know, I understand everybody gets excited about it, particularly for people who, you know, there's a lot of fair amount of people, and to me, I view bit birthdays in regards to it's a big thing for a lot of people. And it's a big thing for a lot of people who kind of, you know, like mine. I'm like, I'd rather not make a big deal about it. I'm just going to go with it. If we, you know,
You have to let other people make a big deal about it.
that's exactly the thing. So, like Magic Hand and I were both kind of like, birthdays are one thing, but they're not that much of a big deal. And then you got, people like my mother, most of my mother. She's like, it's your big birthday. And we love mothers because, it's it's like I raised you and now you're half a century. I'm like, well, it doesn't help for me to really get into it, Mom, if you call me half a century old. It just
You
doesn't
were
work.
ahead by a century.
Yeah.
Almost halfway there.
Yeah. So she's like, it's like, oh, it's a big thing and this and that, and so for her to be excited about it, I'm like, I get it, um, and I'm happy she's happy about it, but I'm still sort of like, do we have to be doing anything about this? Because I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
posted about it, and that's all that matters.
it is. You're excited about it. You just want like, hey, we're just gonna explode it out to people, and then
Yeah,
you
I'm
get
gonna
like
let everybody know.
messages. And so
It's Joe's
so I
birthday.
didn't get a chance to tell everybody this, but if you guys are joining and you send me a message, I want to say thank you. Very much appreciated. I'm sure some
Yeah.
people didn't realize how I was getting, but it is what it is. Yeah, so it's a big significant number, and as people here are also all from around the same age as we are here, it's we know these kind of big numbers and whatnot. Now, one of the other things I also want to bring up, which I didn't quite post, is I did fire off a poll this morning, and this kind of gave me an idea of something I'd like to do for future episodes. Which is I did a poll, ran it for 12 hours, and about an hour before we started the show, poll ended. So I grabbed it and put it in
Didn't
there. And the
even see
question,
the poll. I was too busy. Darn it.
I know but I think you did vote on it. If you didn't, then somebody else did. And I'm curious as to who.
I
So the
didn't.
poll question was, how are you watching the Barber and Lich trial? Because you know what? This is
In
the main
person.
event of the week.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like this for the month. And so a lot of people came back and, gave a couple of choices. Are you going to go check out mainstream as in mainstream media, see what's going on there? Didn't put in the Zoom option because that's not an option.
Yeah.
Social media, see what's going on, as well as, might be attending in the courtroom and then just not watching at all. So looking at this here, it's a strong tie. Or sorry, it's a very close one, but
Well,
So
it's a
not watching
tie.
at all kind of wins in regards to 48.4%, but that just means less than 50% of people are just not going to bother watching it at all. That's fair, and that's fine. Some people might just not care about it till, get me to the end. I don't feel like going through the whole thing and whatnot. As opposed to others going to be in the courtroom, social media, and mainstream. Checking out, see what the paper's doing. There is some good reporting in regards to it. As Deana's also been in there, she's been live streaming with her, and we're going to be discussing that a little bit
I am
further.
not good reporting. I'm just reporting the things that are highlights to me and then making funny little jokes.
Oh,
Judy
absolutely,
Trin, on the other hand, is doing a
yes,
great job reporting.
hmm
So
absolutely, and it's and to as well as another person, if you guys want to track as to who's going on
oh
in
yeah,
social in media right now, is when I noticed is Resistance Cats isn't able to monitor and report because, again, the Zoom thing.
yeah,
So but what they're doing right now is they're also echoing out people who are reporting and who
right.
they feel are reporting accurately. So if you're trying to find somebody who's reporting in regards to it, definitely go follow Deana for the color commentary when she's there,
Yeah.
because that's always entertaining. But for what's going on, and they might be able to give you some good sort of reporting in regards to the actual um, things that are being discussed. Again, follow Resistant Cats; they'll be able to tell you in regards to who's right now reporting on stuff, including like they did Julie Trin and a few others.
I'll
And
just
they
point out that I'm
Mhm.
not going to be there the rest of this week, likely, or next week. Next week is super busy for me, so I'll probably be there for the last six, not full 6 days, but I will be there for those other days. But I'm not going to be there the next little while because I have other commitments.
Well, yeah, and I mean it's one of those things that was I even made a
Called the
tweet about that.
job.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but I thought doing stuff for Trudeau and protesting is what your job is.
I
Our job,
wish.
actually, our job is. Yeah.
Seriously, yeah, I wish. I wish Trudeau was paying me. Be
Mhm.
freaking awesome. If that's
That
all I had to do was NPC convoy shit and make money off of that and do my protests, it'd be golden. I'd quit my job in an instant. I like my
so
job. I think it's great, but I'd still quit it in an instant.
I feel you saying that you wish Trudeau was paying you is going to get clipped, but I could be wrong.
Well, whatever. Anything I say is going to get clipped, and then it's going to
It's
be
true.
like bastardized, like the whole incident that happened today. And then, somebody tried to go and post some bullshit about it. And it's like, okay, here we go.
That's
But
true.
Juno Beach ended up telling the truth about it. So
Yeah.
that was great.
Well, we're going to get to that. We'll get to that a little bit more in a minute when
Later,
we get
yeah.
to the main stories, and we'll get up to discussion in regards to the trial.
Yeah.
But
Let's get into it.
the first thing is, as many people know who Clifford Apollo Tabor is, and as if you don't already know, he's made statements in regards to. He's made many statements in regards to the convoy and everything else, but he's had an updated statement, and here it is.
Hi there, this is Apollo. This will be my last message. We didn't get the numbers, people. And I have to be honest. Like I said, at least with me, you always got honesty.
Yeah, right.
We did not achieve the numbers. Like I said, there's smear campaigns against anyone that has ever helped you. Okay, so you've also done it to me. See, what you're not realizing, I was your last hope to survive this.
Oh,
Your cowardice, your weakness, your inability to quit the drugs and alcohol have clearly clouded your minds.
meh.
I gave my best. I get to hold my head high. Um, but again, people, we did not achieve the numbers. So therefore, it is off. There'll be no global walkout. So I'm going to give my people the best advice I can. Get out of the cities and do it now.
Run.
Try to build some like small home in the middle of nowhere,
Just do it.
farm, and leave the system.
Let's
Do
go.
it
Let's
now.
go. Let's go.
Try the
I will
Canadian
also
Tire
be doing
parking lot.
this. There's no point in staying. They will lock you down, and then they will literally.
Nothing.
Well, you all know what comes next. Look what you've done to everyone that has ever stepped forward for you. You've allowed them to be persecuted, jailed, and even murdered. Right down to our Lord and Savior. You couldn't even save him.
Yeah.
Julian Assange and all the rest in between through history.
What the fuck is he talking about?
There isn't a brave soul amongst you, with the exception of the ones that followed me.
Oh.
The rest of you chose the road of cowardice. Know this, no coward enters heaven.
There's
Again,
more?
The global walkout is cancelled. This is my last message. And I am done with this.
So,
Wowza.
wowzas, and we're going to get into it in a second. First thing I want to say is a special thank you to TikTok scientists here to provide me the content.
Yes.
I wasn't because they had the raw to it, so I was able to slice it up to it. Actually, I'm going to be thanking TikTok scientists a fair amount in this particular episode.
Yay.
Yeah, wonderful person to thank. Second thing is when I got the raw, I had to review the entire raw.
I'm in love with TikTok scientist.
There you go. So I was going to start a rumor. There's already enough rumors going around. Let's try to limit these people. Anyways, so, but as I'm looking at the raw, they sent it to me. So my first thing I want to say is, what the fuck is it with 10-minute long videos that these guys are doing? Both Paulo and Ven are just like, I'm going to talk for 10 minutes nonstop about nothing.
And there's psycho in it. I'm going to talk in a deep voice.
I'm going to talk in a deep voice, and I'm going to be like Jacques Chirac, and I'm going to go nuts. But Apollo, so that particular video there, what I just showed you was, there was a bit of repetition. That was nothing that I showed you in there wasn't already stated multiple times in the rest of the video. Like, he does 10-minute videos of just rambling and repeating about
Yeah, that's
1
why I
minute
can't
worth
watch
of
that
content.
shit. Like, I can't, same with Mathieu Van. I can't watch the whole thing. I
Yeah.
count on people like Not a Convite and TikTok Scientist and Polly Chick and whoever to just go through it and bring me the highlights. Bring me the
Oh, yeah.
highlights.
Oh yeah, no, it is, and it's an absolute insanity in regards to it. So that said, let's move over to actually this particular video. So I mean, he rage quit. He's just like, nope, that's it. I'm out. I didn't get the numbers. I'm like,
Because the globe is on drugs. We're
well,
all on drugs.
the
and
numbers
they
showed
couldn't
up, and it
quit.
was Melinda.
Who? Oh, Melinda. That's right.
So I
Melinda.
fear he got everybody turned up there, and it was one person.
Well, and Mathieu was already there.
I don't count the regulars as showing up, because
They should
whether the event occurs or not, they're still going to be there. So, like, I don't go to McDonald's and get happy the seats are there. You know, it's just they're there. It's just, that's it. Yes, it's not a bad idea, because god damn it, I'm willing to pay that for them, for everybody's sanity that has to watch those goddamn videos. Holy shit.
I
I
can't.
mean, I've done a couple of TikTok videos. I've done a couple of other, I do this and whatnot. I try to prepare a script in regards to what's going to be discussed. Here, it's mostly outlines. The TikTok, actually, I'll write up a bit of a script in regards to doing stuff, and to doing stuff like the previous one I did in regards to GG's attack in Toronto.
Yeah.
Just so that I make sure I come out with what I want to say.
Right.
to the concise, to the point. Make the video small because people have, they don't want to watch a 20-minute goddamn video for you.
Saying the
Could have.
same thing.
I don't want to watch a 20-minute. Sorry, I don't want to watch a 10-minute video if it could have been just sent in an email.
Right. Exactly.
Anyways, so he rage quit. He's gone. Because I think it's just Melinda that showed up, and but he's still got the whole megalomaniac thing going on.
I have a tip for all of them. When you put out a post and you only get 6 likes, that's a sign. When you only get 37 likes, that's a sign. You're not going to get your numbers because people don't know who you are, or they don't give a fuck who you are. As if, like, I would say, let's do a global walkout. And even if I got 4,000 likes on that, I've lost. Do you know what I mean? Like, these people are ridiculous. Like, they honestly think, I don't know, like they're just mathematically.
Again, the convoy really deluded these people to the idea this is all possible.
Yeah, it's
the
ridiculous.
Convoy succeeded, so they're like, oh, well, we just need to get the people to unite now because I have the noble message, and they came for the convoy, and I'm just like the convoy. We'll go.
Right.
They
are deluded. Like, what on the weekend, one guy was like, says right away to us, well, we all want the same thing, right? Like, from the convoy side. And I'm like, no, we don't want the same thing. We're not even close. And then, after it's just like they think that all we need to do is just be nice to each other, which, okay, that makes sense. But they want people dead. So
that's exactly it. Because it's funny because I was preparing the content and everything ready. I did listen into a TikTok live. So as you jumped into Spaces, I'm jumping into TikTok live.
Yeah,
we got our things.
Yeah,
it's good to go. But I was listening to that one in particular, and they were discussing. It was people from the left and people from the right that were in there discussing, and that exact point that you just said came out, which was, well, we all want the same thing, and that came from the right. And my first reaction as soon as I heard that, I'm like, no, we don't.
No, not even close.
We're all the same thing. We're just people. We all try to make things better. No, you're trying to say you're just human trying to do a basic struggle. But right now, your side is trying to dog whistle messaging that endangers people.
Right.
There's nobody on the left trying to endanger people to the point of unaliving.
100%.
That doesn't happen. We are trying to protect everybody, whether it be adults, kids, whatever their identity is.
They're trying to preserve themselves.
Yeah.
And we want everybody to have a space, right? Like that. It's not the same thing. There is nothing the same.
And one more little caveat to the whole thing, because they're like, oh, we're trying to protect the kids from indoctrination, this and that. No. We're trying to protect the kids from the rights that they have in the Constitution that you're trying to take away from them.
Right.
Because gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation, they're in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
The other thing is they believe that people are property. Like, they still have that mindset that children are their property. When you say my child, okay, it's a possessive term, but it's my child, like I gave birth to that child. But this human being that I have put on this earth is their own free person, their own free will, their own soul. And I am there to guide them. I am not there to make them me.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And I know that's what they want because I was with somebody like that. And it came out. And unfortunately, I had a child first and then heard that. And it's like, no, that is not what children are. They are not yours, and you do not get to decide. Like, obviously you decide on where they're, school and, you know,
You get
the
to decide the opportunities.
activities.
Yeah, you get to decide the opportunities they're going
Right.
to have, but not the person they become. I mean,
Exactly.
you can help mold some of that. That's choice in regards to you can teach hate, you can teach not to hate.
Correct.
That's something you can teach.
Right.
And if
You
you're a
can
shitty
teach
person,
honor,
but
loyalty.
who they are, whether it be identity, expression, sexual orientation, whatnot, you cannot have any influences as to what they become.
Right.
And if you try that, and if you succeed in that, all you've succeeded at
Is making them
is
hate themselves.
hating themselves and pretty much risking them and
Right.
themselves, their mental state, and possibly just their lives in general.
That's right.
There's nothing of value there.
Do you hear that?
What's that?
I just turned on the fan. You don't hear it? It's not bugging you?
Don't hear a thing. Don't
I
hear a
need the
thing.
fan.
We were feeling some warmth. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I
You're
don't do
suffering
air
in the heat.
conditioning. I actually
Yeah.
took a shower before, like, again, I took a second shower today because, well, you know, I tried to get away with not getting ready again, and
You
that didn't work.
did.
Yeah.
So I took a shower because I felt I needed one. But so and the funny thing is, I sat down here in the living room. I saw the temperature outside, so I haven't been able to go outside for my walk because it's plus 30, and I
Yeah.
just didn't want to do it in plus 30. But so I ended up just sort of staying in the living room, which is kind of perfectly temperature balanced. So it's plus 30. I don't notice a thing.
I
But if
don't get
there's
hot. It's not the hot. It's the moisture everywhere. Like, I
oh
need
yeah,
a
humidity.
dehumidifier. Yeah. Like, that's the problem. I temperature wise, I'm good, but I'm, like, you can see I'm starting to build up, and it's not sweat. It's like the humidity in the air.
So it's you're getting condensation. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
like a toilet.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it. I was going to say like a cold water container, but you know
Sure.
what? If you want to
Okay,
go with
cold
toilets,
water
it's fine.
container.
Weirdo.
I'm a property manager. That's what I see. Then we know there's a problem. So
Shooting off to Texas, ladies and gentlemen, where federal judge has halted.
good news in Texas. What is happening here?
Exactly. So they've halted the ban on drag in Texas.
With my
Temporarily.
favorite amendment.
Yes. Well,
With the right wing's favorite amendment. Well, second favorite.
Jumps the story.
Well, whatever.
Whatever. All right. So, exactly as Deana said, the court finds that there is substantial likelihood that SB 12, as drafted, violates the First Amendment of the United States Constitution under one or more of the legal theories put forward by the plaintiffs. So,
What's the First Amendment, Joe?
First Amendment would be freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
Exactly. So this was obviously brought up by the ACLU, representing many groups, because this is an attack on civil liberties.
Mm-hmm.
And they recognize it immediately, which was fantastic. And this is a significant win, especially the part that the federal judge recognized. You're stopping a person from dressing up, a person from dressing into any particular clothing, whether it be those as commonly referred to or known as for whether for their gender or the opposite gender. And again, just commonly referred to because, again, clothing being
Hijabs.
men and women is still
Whatever.
artificially constructed by ourselves. And so restricting that, basically restricting an interpretation of what somebody looks like, is a restriction of the First Amendment. Therefore, this law to try to ban drag, and especially in this particular case here, ban drag in total across the entire state, illegal under the Bill of Rights in the United States, First Amendment, no less. So this is going to be Republican twisting.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the 14th Amendment, but I like that they chose this one. So the 14th Amendment is liberty and the pursuit of happiness, equality, all of those things. But when we talked about this, but then I thought when I was taking my 30-second shower, it was like, man, way to like, I mean, it is true. It's the
Mhm.
it's freedom of speech. It's freedom of expression. It is the First Amendment. But it's funny because that's all we hear
Yep.
from the right wing. Freedom of speech.
Oh
Freedom
yeah.
of, even in Canada when we don't even have freedom of speech. But I
Yeah.
just think it's fantastic. Like,
But
right?
it's the funniest thing too, because I recall a recent video from Jon Stewart with his new show, the Problem with Jon Stewart.
I love him.
He had a fire video he did recently, and I'm going to try to see if I can find it again. I'm going to try to repost it on my Twitter. And it was, he was talking to a governor. I think this might have been the governor of Texas, where they're trying to drag ban.
Yeah, that was a
And
good
he's
one.
like, because you think it's a danger to schools. Yeah. As opposed to, and you're making up this thing that's a danger to schools, as opposed to the real dangers in schools, which is gun shootings. Yeah. Because you don't want to violate the Second Amendment. Yeah. So you're willing to violate the First Amendment right for something that's made up versus something that's actually killing children.
Yeah.
That one, no, we can't touch that. That's your fucking hypocrisy right there.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And it was on fire.
No, it wasn't a female politician. It was a man, and
Mhm.
he was wearing a navy, like a royal blue suit, and he had
And a
like
beard.
a
Yeah.
beard and mustache, and it actually the way like my favorite part was like, he says, "Oh, so you're trying to protect the children, and so what is the number one killer of children?" And then the guy says, "Well, I think you're gonna say guns," and he's like, "No, I'm not saying it like it's an opinion. I'm
Yeah.
saying it because that's what it is." I loved that. Like Jon Stewart is another person that I have a crush on.
And
I
both
like smart, funny men or avatars that claim to be men. I don't know TikTok scientists,
with facial hair and all gray.
whatever. They need to be super smart and funny and justice, like freedom, actual freedom fighters, like the real ones, not the fucking cosplay crazy losers. That's what I like.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be single forever.
But you're gonna have a whole collection of virtual men.
Exactly.
There you go.
And that makes me happy.
There you go. Just you and your boys.
Hey, TikTok scientist.
There you go. As you know, Deana, she's being a little creepy tonight.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Speaking of creepy, wait till we get to that story. Let's keep
We'll
going.
get to more creepy weirdo
Yeah.
stuff in a bit. For this one here is back to Ottawa. We're shooting back, and this is kind of an interesting thing, and something that was actually brought up to me by one of the organizers of this particular lawsuit going on. So several community groups in Ottawa are now suing the police board in Ottawa. So the Ottawa Police Services Board is being sued in regards to changes they did recently in regards to how the police services function. So they've got here. I'm gonna try to see if I can read it here. So one of the things, and I remember this quite clearly, when they made the change back, and this is after Sutcliffe came into power.
Yeah.
So grown there.
Oh, and don't forget, before Sutcliffe came into
Mhm.
power, Doug Ford gave more power to mayors. Anyways,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So the big thing that they did in the OSPS, or OSPB, which was they stopped all virtual calls. Like they are making all the board meetings now in person. They've limited the amount of delegates that can come and go speak at the board. They limited the amount of time. They limited limited delegations to 3 minutes. So you need to express whatever your issue is to the police in 3 minutes. And more than 12 people are to register to speak during that hour. So they've done all these things to limit the amount of voices coming in to speak to the board. Like it's not a cool thing. This is a pretty horrific thing. And
I
so a bunch of the groups have gotten together and it's like, no, we need to do something about this. So they decided to sue the board in civil court. And again, the main focus here is not, they're not looking for financial reward on this one. They're looking to change the bylaws back to the original in regards to, you need to give enough time for people to come in and speak. This is the whole purpose of it, for them to be able to address issues they have with police. I mean, for Christ's sakes.
is that the purpose of a police board, though?
Yeah, it's the Overwatch that gives the directives to the police board. Like, if we want to make sure that the board brings enough presence to events like a next trucker convoy, should it ever occur, we should have the ways to get to that board to say, hey, as citizens of the city of Ottawa, I come with a lot of people behind me with this petition. We want to make sure there's a lot of presence ready for it. What's your plan? What do you guys have? And what are we going to ensure so that we don't get overrun again?
Okay, so you just said that in less than 3 minutes, and you had your petition in hand and it had the information. I'm only asking this. I'm not saying they're wrong, not at all, because
Mhm.
I don't quite know
But I
if
fast forwarded that too, because I'm also talking to an audience that already understands and already agrees with me.
right,
Somebody that's going to be coming in with something that's more complex. Let's say coming in with stats and information in regards to, let's say, BIPOC people being targeted more, and
yeah,
having to explain all the stats and background on that. That's
yeah,
going to take more than 3 minutes.
right,
Or any other issues in regards to policing. That, like I said, I could do this to this crowd here in less than 3 minutes because half of you guys already understand half the stuff I'm going to say, and we're gonna, we're gonna probably be able to shoot ahead. These guys need to convince a police board that may not be as understanding, so they need to
right,
make sure they construct this thing well. And to do that within 3 minutes, you need to do everything you need to bring up the police as an elevator pitch, and
right.
that's not good.
I've never been to a police board meeting.
Mhm.
Um, so I just remember watching the police board meetings during the convoy, and that was a fucking shit show. Like, the whole thing was dumb. That the ending of it, I didn't like what I saw. So, I mean, I can't speak too much to it. I can only speak to the governance that I deal with, and if I had to have members come into board meetings, every board meeting, to tell us, I mean, I guess it's different because we're just managing a small little
Mhm.
thing or whatever. But there needs to be time to be able to actually do the work of the board. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a change that the community doesn't support, and there are many groups, I guess, that are involved in taking this board to task. I don't know if this board is similar to other police boards in other cities. So, like, I don't have any comparables, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's definitely lines in regards to what you bring to the board and what you don't. And which I totally agree with, because again, you deal with co-op boards, I deal with a condo board.
Yeah,
Sort of like, if you go to the board and you say, like, I have a problem with this kind of, criminal activity here in my area of the city, what can you do? They should absolutely turn around and say, like, no, you don't need to bring this to this board. That's not a board issue. That's just call the local, call your station, or
yeah,
and deal with that, because that's something handled by that. And the board shouldn't be dealing with specific crime issues. That's not what they're going to be dealing with, and
right,
they should be absolutely drawing the line. That's because that's not what the board's for. The board's more of, what's the funding being used for? Where's the focuses? What's the main goals? And sometimes you will cover sort of events in regards to larger scale events. Like I said, we're looking at an increase in regards to, attacks on 2S LGBTQIA. What is the police doing to be proactive in regards to that?
right,
Like, how are we protecting the communities that are currently seeing a rise in hate? Like, is there any proactive programs for that? And this would be something you do bring up, going like, this is an issue. It's not a specific crime. This is a trend. What's the overall approach to where you want to do that? So it's entire thing, and it's, I think, one of the things that really discharged, especially a lot of the advocates and whatnot that came in there to do a lot of the speaking, is we had all this ability. We were able to speak, especially when it was in Zoom. It was easier, so they all had the time. They can do timing and whatnot, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that they turned off the Zoom, they turned off Zoom, so that suddenly people who couldn't go in there easily or comfortably now are forced to go in there, in person, and a lot of people are still uncomfortable with that. And that's a problem. There was no reason that they said that.
Well, I think it's dumb that they got rid of the virtual meeting. That is stupid.
Agreed.
Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like we've advanced as a society. We are now at the point where, you know, the Co-op Act just got revised this past month or whatever it was, to allow for hybrid and virtual meetings for real. Like they did an exemption during COVID, but now it's actually built into the act.
Yep.
So it makes
Co-op Act's got it. The Condo Act's got
Yeah,
it. Everybody's
moving to that. So why would you go backwards?
Yeah.
It makes no sense unless
most private
you are
businesses
trying to
deal.
reduce the amount of people who are the amount of traffic coming to your board, and that's
kind of the point of what this lawsuit is they're is everything that reads about this. And I remember back in March when it was coming out, February, March, everything about it read, they're just trying to silence the additional voices coming in to speak, and that's kind of a dick thing.
Yeah.
And again, but it's it's slowly, so
well, I can't. It's not slowly.
No, but it's under his mayorship now, so I'm throwing him in there. I don't care.
Why? They picked him after they got rid of him. Oh no!
Sorry, not Slolly. Sorry, Sutcliffe. You're right.
Sutcliffe. Yeah.
Sutcliffe.
I think it's because you read somebody's comment and they repeated it 3 times. Because I'm just like, wait a minute. Yeah, no.
Slolly, Sutcliffe. Sorry,
it's not Slolly.
My bad. Sutcliffe is the one I'm going to toss there. My apologies, Slolly. You've already had a pretty shitty.
You've already been beaten up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're at the Barber and Lich criminal trial.
No. You should be getting another image.
Oh. What am I looking? I can't really see it, but go ahead and tell me what's on there.
Now you got me doubting if I'm.
I can see it. It's there. I can't read it. It's too small.
Yeah. So for those that are there, it is the correct thing. For those interesting, particularly in regards to the lawsuit, there's a couple things coming up for it. Particularly on September 11th, which is a Monday at 11 a.m., there is going to be discussion with the people filing lawsuits. They're going to have a panel at Photo Hall, University of Ottawa, at room 401. Now you can go show up and see and listen and whatnot, but if you're not able to physically attend, unlike the Ottawa Police Services Board, they're going to make Zoom available for you to join, and there's a link is provided.
Cool.
If you guys want more information about this, I've got that particular tweet from Sam Hirsch in my link tree. Yes. So you can go check mine, and if you go check Deana's, well, let me know if you can find it.
Hey, I posted it.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you put the link in your Twitter?
No, where it says website? No, I will do that, but I haven't. But I did post my link tree.
It's no good if they can't find it, Deana.
I did it, and I fixed the TikTok one because it wasn't showing, but I fixed it. I figured it out all by myself. I did it.
I'm so proud of you, girl. I'm so proud of you. So what's next? Oh, yes. So there's a little trial coming up. Or it's already started.
It started. We're in day 2.
We're in day 2 of who? You
Deana Lich and Chris Barber.
Exactly. So this is when I'm going to be sitting back a bit in regards to the information, because we have the on-the-ground reporter, Deana, who was there on site for 2 days so far, just to get an idea. We've got a couple of things here. I've got some reps, but again, Deana, having been there, tell us what you saw, what you heard.
Well, okay. So there were 3 witnesses. One we just only heard the qualifications. So they spent a little bit of time trying to sort out some of the logistics, I suppose. So we are looking at 16 days of trial, possibly more, 22 witnesses brought by the Crown. Today, we got to hear from Inspector Russell Lucas.
Hang on,
Yep.
it's like, so you said 16 witnesses brought by the Crown. Do you know if
No,
there was any?
22
Sorry,
witnesses brought
22
by the
brought by the
Crown.
Crown.
Yeah.
Was there any witnesses being brought up by the defense?
Yes. And unless it was 22 witnesses overall, but
Okay.
yes, it was the Crown that read
Hmm.
sort of, whatever. So I'm
Sure.
sure the Crown has their witnesses. Danny Bulford is a witness. So when he came, so he came the first day.
Scraping the barrel. Just saying.
Well, and maybe no, Tom Marazzo isn't because he stayed in. You can't be in the courtroom if you're going to be a witness unless there's some whatever exemption or something. But anyway, so Danny Bulford came the first day. As I said, we were in the elevator together. Oh, I got to tell that story. But anyway, then he couldn't be in the courtroom, so he had to leave. His girlfriend stayed. I think it's his girlfriend. I keep calling him his girlfriend, but anyway. So the Inspector Lucas or Russell Lucas is high level. So it was kind of the same questions and answers that we heard from POEC. So I have nothing really new to report on that. Like I did make tweet some of the stuff, and so did Judy and whoever else was in the courtroom. And then, but one of the things I think that, like I remember seeing Christine go, because he said something about it being, there was no violence towards the police officers or whatever. There were no violence. So that was about it. It was a bit annoying finding out that, they didn't get the proper text messages and it was an extraction because the police officer had an upgraded phone. And I don't know how you can upgrade a phone and your messages from WhatsApp get lost and don't follow you to your new phone. And that's what they were being said. And it sounds sus to me. And I'm
Yeah.
all about the pursuit of truth. So, whether or not it is whatever, she seemed like, because they sent it to the police tech to get this messages. And so when they got the documents for the messages, it's not even the originals, and it stops halfway through. And she was PLT and she was communicating with who did I say it was? I think it was BJ Dictor, whatever, Danny Bulford, and there was a third person that I am forgetting at this point. I know I mentioned it in my live stream. Um, so she's working with them. There's texts back and forth about what the plans are, but it cuts off. So that anyway, that seems sus. I'm not a tech person, but it seems sus to me. So I'll just lay that out there. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
So I agree with you with sus on that one. So I'm not familiar much with WhatsApp. Magic Hand's more familiar with WhatsApp than I am because they use it a lot more than I do. Um, but my impression of WhatsApp is the same as most messenger services, with the exception of something like Signal R. Sorry, not Signal R, but Signal, which is very specific, encrypted, and direct messaging that just sends a message. Most messaging services, like think of like your Facebook Messenger. Well, it's great your message went to your phone, Facebook Messenger, but it still doesn't really exist on your phone. It exists on the service provider. And I believe WhatsApp is similar to that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. So it doesn't matter upgrading your phone. You put in your login for WhatsApp, your messages should be restored. So it
But
sounds like a bunch of horse shit.
not only that, I mean, they use the term upgraded the phone. So that sounds to me like she should still have the old phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because you upgrade, and here's the other thing. The convoy was one of the most pivotal things that has fucking happened in however long.
Yep.
Obviously, and the Emergencies Act was called, right?
Yeah.
And they knew that part of the Emergencies Act meant that there needed to be an inquiry, which means everything that happened during the convoy was going to be subject to scrutiny as evidence. So you don't get to not ensure that the evidence is being kept. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, if you upgraded your phone and your messages from the convoy that you had with very key people didn't make it to your other phone, then you keep your phone, the old one. And if it's broken, you still keep it.
To be honest, I'd slap them with not perjury. What is it? Destruction of evidence.
Well, but the thing is the judge wasn't willing to place any blame onto anybody at this point. But we're all a little bit sort of like, and it.
Yeah. It's so I think it's going like the judge is going to let this one slide because you're going to do that. Um, but that's probably going to mean tampering with evidence. Thank you. That'd be it. Um, thank you, Slenny. So yeah, I'm gonna blame for tampering evidence, but I don't have enough. I'm not gonna do anything on it. But you know what? This is your warning now. If you do it again,
Fuck the warning. It's too late, man. Like,
no. But I mean, if I find something else, I'm like, listen, now you're a pattern, and
yeah.
that's exactly it. This is
But
this is one shot,
that
fine. But if you
screws
turn
us
it,
over. That screws us over. It's not helpful to us. Like, you can say that's your last chance. Who the fuck does that help? It helps these fucking
you're
assholes.
absolutely right. But the Crown went ahead with this, knowing that they already didn't have this, which makes me a little bit confident because
They didn't
the
know. They didn't know how they received it. They asked for this evidence and
Mhm.
they didn't know how it was extracted. They had no idea. That's why the judge is not placing the blame on the Crown. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear, but they were just like, they wanted the text messages and they received them and they didn't realize that these were just extracted messages and not the originals.
Yep.
So yeah, like it's frustrating for me and everybody else, I'm sure.
Thank you, new follower.
Thank you, new follower. I'm actually, as we're talking,
Mhm.
I am installing WhatsApp on my new phone.
Another few follower. Yeah.
Thank you, new follower. And I'm going to see if I can. What the hell? I just said yes. Buzz off. Okay, cancel. Skip.
We could probably try out your WhatsApp later.
Yeah, I'm just checking. Anyway, so
I'll talk to a couple people, find out because I'm kind of curious in regards to that. But I mean, it's an excellent point in regards to, and again, it's a huge question in regards to is there some tech shenanigans? I'm sure there is, and I'm sure the Crown's gonna be all over it, going, what's really going on here? But again, I still feel that I'm sure they have a very strong case because a lot of stuff they've been spinning to has been very specific. And for example, I've captured a couple of things in regards I wanted to bring up. And one particular thing was the ending statement by, not the ending statement, but one of the statements by the prosecutor. I believe his name is Tim Radcliffe. Tamar Lich and Chris Barber didn't just hold the line, they crossed it. And so even without the specific things like those specific texts, their main messaging seems to be like, no, they crossed a line when they said, you're going to, then I feel they're going to be trying to prove this is an occupation. And I think this is going to be sort of what we're going to be seeing a bit as a theme in regards to the whole discussion about their criminality. Because as you saw it right from the get-go, We've got him coming out saying they crossed the line by getting them to say, hold the line. They're camping out. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're being absolute, criminals. Thank you for a new
Thank you, new
subscriber.
subscriber.
So camping out, holding down the whole place, doing and they're going to try to prove the occupation because the occupation is not a protest. An occupation is something that's illegal. So, and I even have a video on that, which I'm sure you guys would love to see videos, right? Yes. And if you don't, well, too bad. You're going to see a video anyways. And this is from Lawrence Greenspan, who is, I believe it's Mayor Lich's lawyer.
Yeah, maybe. I thought it was Chris Barber's, but okay.
You could be right. I didn't quite, but it's one of the lawyers. And basically addressing the entire issue of the occupation. And this is one of the things I'm convinced we're going to be hearing quite often. It's going to be their debate back and forth because they both know if they can get this declared in front of the judge as an occupation, that kind of decides the whole case. And let's hear what his first spin at it.
We argued it in court, and I think it's a word that should be reserved for occupations, and particularly at this time when there are Ukrainians under real occupation. It's an insult to them and anybody else who's survived an occupation to be calling what happened here in Ottawa an occupation.
You think
Thoughts?
it was a fucking occupation? We
I'm
just
surprised you with me responding. I agree.
no. The difference is, is that it's not a different country. It was from within our own country. And we had, like, the occupation from one country to another means a military coming and occupying against these guys tried to form a military. They used military terms in everything that they did. They used torture like the military would. They literally had law enforcement and army veteran whatever as part of their group running that part of it. They were well funded, like a government would be well funded, and they literally occupied our space. The difference, though, the only difference, it's still an occupation, is that our government was able to bring in the resources to remove that threat.
Yep.
And so, Lawrence, with all due respect, go for it.
Go fuck yourself.
Well, I mean, he's trying to do his job, right?
Yeah.
And whatever, like, so blah,
he
blah,
absolutely is, and he's trying to do his job, and but I'm going to say it's a fucking stretch. Like, it
is a stretch, but he's also riling up other people behind him, right? So.
He's going to get people like, it's totally not that. It's totally not that. It is. Okay, your definition is like an occupation is what has to be from a foreign country. Why? What is it from a foreign country? Because trust me, Occupy Montreal and everything else, they called those an occupation, and they weren't foreign threats.
Yeah,
there wasn't a military involved, and they called them an occupation. And therefore, if you called those an occupation, that fucking thing in Ottawa, that's an occupation.
That was a fucking occupation.
If you called one an occupation, Occupy Water and everything else, then that's an occupation.
Full on refused to leave. What the fuck do you call that? They occupied our
hot
space.
Tubs, they barbecues and everything else. They camped out in the streets.
They took the tires off their fucking vehicles.
So they couldn't be towed. Yeah.
That's right. Like, they fucking occupied this place, and they threatened us. Sorry. They called 911 and flooded the lines. They put our lives in fucking danger.
They took off the tires in hopes they couldn't be towed away, but holy shit, those tow truck drivers were efficient and fast.
Well, but
just want to give out the props to those guys because
before the tow truck drivers were able to go in because of the emergency powers that were given to them, they received death threats.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So give me a
once
break.
yeah,
Everybody was under threat by these people.
absolutely. They were trying to dox tow truck companies to threaten them. They were trying to dox, different groups to threaten them. They
Our
were intimidating the city.
politicians,
They were
teachers, doctors.
torturing the people in downtown areas, both downtown the market, wherever the horns can reach.
Yeah.
Um,
Not only there, Overbrook,
yeah,
Vanier.
yeah. Well, it's because especially Overbrook was right beside Connaught. Sorry, not Connaught, but Coventry Road,
Yep.
which is where the secondary location was.
Right.
So yeah,
Our hospitals slow rolled the airport, slow rolled around elementary schools.
the elementary school one was just a little fucking.
That was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That was right here in Alta Vista, close to where I live. Not even so for people who say you don't live downtown, fuck you. It moved around. It wasn't just downtown. I also live by the airport. Okay.
And
I
even
also live by Coventry. I am right in the middle. I am literally 10 minutes away from every fucking point that these pieces of shit occupied.
Yeah. As well as affecting services, like if forcing businesses because they were feeling unsafe
OC
to shut
Transpo.
down. OC Transpo, you sneeze and OC Transpo shuts down.
No, we're not going to give them that out, Joe. It's not that the sneeze, whatever. OC Transpo could not fucking function because
no. The LRT wasn't functioning, but the LRT wasn't functioning because of them. The LRT already had an issue.
I said the OC Transpo.
Fair.
Paratranspo, ambulances, fire engines, police, all of our police resources tied up in that fucking bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that you're absolutely right. Everything was tied up. We were consuming, and that's something that's also not explained or discussed as much. We were spending money constantly for those 3 weeks that we generally didn't, just for every resource to handle these whatever amount of asshats that were there. So we had to get police forces, like we had to bring in police force aside from the ones that we had, just to be there walking the streets, because we got all these asshats firing off fireworks, doing other stupid shit, just basically keeping them alive half the time, and we're paying for it.
Yeah.
This is part of the lawsuit, is like the cost of these assets coming in there. They're all like, oh, it's all fun and games. No, it was for you, but we didn't ask for it. We didn't expect it. We didn't want it. And I, not being a person from downtown, but I think I speak for many of them. Like, we didn't fucking want it. It was never fun for us. Fuck you.
Yeah. And don't fucking use that stupid, you decided to live in the capital. Yeah. So that doesn't mean you can come here and fucking sit your ass down and party your fucking faces off and harass the people who live here and rip the masks off and threaten them and yell at minimum wage earners that you want to be served without a mask because you've got some bullshit exemption. Like, all of it. The microaggressions right up to the actual threats.
Yep.
It was an occupation.
It
100%.
was. And as you said, intimidation. Start looking into terrorism. Yep.
Yes.
Start considering terrorism.
100%.
So it is absolutely that. I feel there was something. Oh no, there was nothing else in that particular story.
No, there was just my elevator ride with Chris Barber. So I get there and I get inside, and there they are right in front of me. And so I was like, perfect timing. And now we're all waiting for the elevator. And they're waiting for the elevator. And then I figured out which one was coming first, which was the one to my left, the last one. So I went and stood there. And as soon as the lady walked out, I walked right into the back. And either they come in and follow me and I have my opportunity, or they don't because they're chicken shit and I still won. So we're all in there, me and fucking 9 of them.
Wait, hang on a second. You had both Tamara and...
No. Tamara wasn't in there. It was Chris
just you
Barber.
and Chris.
his wife, Danny Bulford, his girlfriend, and like three or four others of them. I'm trying to remember who they are. They were all together.
Good
And
fucking God. If we could take photos in the courthouse, that
I
would be
wish
an
I would have.
epic one right
Whoops.
there.
Where did you go? I would have recorded it. Can you see me?
I can still see you. Yeah.
Okay, because I can't see you, and I don't know why. I think I unplugged my screen. Just 1 sec. Anyway, so there. He was. I was in the back corner on the left, right hand side, and he was in the front corner of the right hand side. And there was like his wife between us and somebody else. And he's like, "Oh, how are you, Deana? We haven't officially met." And he goes to put out his hand. He goes, "Oh, I'd shake your hand, but it looks like your thumb is sore." I said, "Yeah." He goes, it looks like your thumb is sore. What happened? I said, "One of your people threw glass at my hand and cut it." And he goes, and I said, "Oh, it doesn't hurt." I said, "But I found out that I lost dexterity, so now I need surgery. That's what one of your people did." He goes, "Oh, that's not my people." I said, "Yeah, that's your people. You inspired that. They're out because of you." Then they start walking out because we were only one floor away. And Danny goes out first, or one of the first people. And I look and I'm like, "You too, Danny Bulford." And he just turns around and he looks at me and I'm like, "Fuck you all." Like, whatever. And then that was it. We stood in line, waited for the thing, the courtroom to finally open. And it took a little while, but we got in.
I have a feeling he wasn't really waiting in line to go in the courtroom, considering he's part of the main event.
Well, no, yeah. So they were off to the side, and of course they get to be let in first or whatever. But yeah, all the assholes were there. Doug was there, Douglas, whatever, the guy who initially grabbed me. Mimi wasn't there, but I hear she has a court case coming up.
We'll get to that one in a bit. But yeah, so I mean, again, that would have been just an awesome elevator ride,
Fucking right,
just to get the photo of. I'm just like, there's a character sketch if somebody wants to feel artistic.
Like they totally think they're. Anyway, fuck him.
So we need a character sketch artist, or maybe get some sort of AI to be able to reproduce these images of you doing some weird shit that can't be photographed. There we go.
Do this.
Pretty much. Well, we got a lot of photos of you doing that, mostly from the right wing side. So next thing up, as we're finishing off on,
they're gonna clip that one. That one's gonna be like, "Why do they have such crazy eyes?" Do that one. Do that one. Do this one. Do this one.
It's like there's a whole range of photos for you out there somewhere. I'm sure somebody can find it.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy, again, big thanks to TikTok scientists on this one. I bring you over to, again, something else coming up on September 20th, which is Adrien Thomas. As many of us know, Adrien Thomas is joining us on September 20th. Not us as in joining us. He's just coming to Ottawa to be a dick and fly the Thunderbird. And if you don't know what the Thunderbird is,
yay!
They're now having a T-shirt. It looks very much like the emblem of the Third Reich, and I'll leave it at that. And now they've got and now they're moving up, but he says he's not. So now they're discussing this, and they've got a new political party idea. And you know what? I don't want to steal any of his thunder. I'm going to let him explain it to us.
It's not a party.
We need to rebuild a real party, and it has to be nationalist. It has to be a national movement. It has to be Canada, for Canada, by Canada, and that's what it is.
For the people, by the people. Now you're talking my language.
And that's the thing. It has to be a national socialist movement, a national socialist movement. And people don't understand what I mean, because everybody else is talking about democracy, but underneath democracy is still underneath the credit system. We need to go back to a gold standard. The gold standard is the only way we can actually do something in Canada. And on top of that, when we reach the gold standard, everybody's debt is forgiven in Canada.
Hey, there's a question here. It's quite good. They say, They say to me, look, I'll read it to you, okay? Whoop.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt just said National Socialism. That is Nazis that says that. They say it's Nazi. Is it Nazi?
It doesn't matter how they say it in Germany because that's how it is actually spelled in Germany. I'm going to tell you something. In
Is
Canada,
it the same thing? Is it the same thing?
it's basically the same damn thing. But the problem is, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not that guy that's going to go destroy anybody. We have to take care of Canada first because everybody is ripping it apart already. It has to be National Socialism, and it has to come from us, for the people, by the people. Because right now, what is happening? The world is controlling our leaders. The world is controlling our leaders.
But
We don't have
it's
any
not the
leaders.
world. It's not the world. It's the WEF. It's the
Exactly.
WHO. It's the 1%. It's the super billionaire. It's the stock actioneer that has multiple actioneer. They're the big guys of the oil, the gas, and everything down in Saudi Arabia and everything. You have to understand, who do you want to be in control of this land? That's the thing. Okay? For the people, by the people.
I think Mathieu Venn is too much for Adrien too, to be honest. Adrien looks like he's having a hard time with Mathieu. I don't think that relationship's going to last very long, to be honest.
I think it can last as long as Ven wants it to, because Ven reminds me of a description that somebody had for Joe Rogan, which is he will agree with anybody he's in the room with.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
Yeah.
He's like,
and so, you know, him reminding me of Rogan, he might find that as a compliment. I'm like, it's not the compliment you think, because you don't understand the comparison. But yeah, so I mean, first of all, right off the bat,
he's
nationalist, socialist. So for most of the points these guys were talking about is just really strong
he
nationalism.
didn't know what it meant. Was that TikTok scientist that went and put that comment. One of you guys did it. I know.
Yeah. I'm not sure which one too, but I mean, first of all, National Socialism, like that, everybody knows that's the origins of the Nazis party. That's
how they say it. But
yeah, but but they also, it's like, yeah, it was National Socialism, but it was heavy on the nationalism. Heavy. The enemies are there, and it's with us that we can bring us all and keep us all safe. Like, that's the whole messaging. Trump did it. The original Third Reich did it. Everybody sort of did this kind of thing, and he's doing the same thing too. He's going deep into this. So, like, you know, there's threats from everywhere, and we need to protect you. And it's only once we start to get the power and bring this power back to the people by protecting you from these threats, and I will save you all from this.
Yeah,
for the people.
I'll be the one to save you. Don't worry. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not that guy. So don't worry. Just trust me. Put me in charge.
And as I'm discussing this, I'm thinking about it, like, well, he's also, aside from the horrible thing of everything else he's doing, and he's literally just, if Third Reich had a copyright that, he's literally ripping off the patent, because everything about his movement is almost identical to it, right down to him symbols.
Mathieu doesn't want to acknowledge that he's turning into a Nazi.
No, but he's been wearing the shirt for quite a bit, so I'm like, dude, you really need to do some evaluation. You just need to take
me a shirt. I get to wear the shirt if I want to wear the shirt. Adrien has put out a TikTok telling me he's coming and he would like to sit down and talk to me and give me a shirt. I think he doesn't know me enough. He says he does, but I don't think he gets it. I don't want your dumb shirt, Adrien.
He might think he's a lot more charismatic than he realizes.
I think he does. Mm-hmm. I think he does. Like, I think they all think that.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. Like, they'll come up to me and try to talk to me and like think that they're going to be the one that's going to break through.
He's also coming into he's coming into this idea with, I'm going to run this National Socialist Party and it's going to be this great new thing. I'm like, you've already got a very strong nationalism party, and it's thank you, Magic Hand. It already exists. It's PPC. They are massively a nationalist party. Period. CPC kind of touches it, but they're not really. It's still kind of just business, whatnot. So he's going to be trying to start this movement.
PPC is anti-indigenous, though. Is
PPC?
yes.
Um,
They are anti-First Nation, anti-Indigenous, anti-Métis. You'll have the odd one here and there that might be there, but no, like I don't.
I will give you definitely PP is anti-indigenous because he's
Yes, he
kept on
is.
saying so many sort of racially awkward statements, and I'm saying that politely.
He's as white as it gets.
Yeah,
he's as
absolutely.
colonial as it gets.
Yeah.
100%.
Whether the party's messaging is that or not, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to say the party's message is definitely that as compared to PPC, whereas the party's message is definitely that. But the CPC's current messaging tends to be very much, you guys are a little less indigenous and you guys are a little less open to a lot of shit right now.
Who do you think are the guys that show up at Indigenous rallies, Indigenous events for murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit? Who are those guys that dump dirt on those things? Who are those guys that throw paint at people? Those are the PPC bros. Those are the PP bros. And so
I would definitely say you're right in regards to it's going to be one of those two.
Yeah.
It's definitely 100% one of those two.
It's one of those two. So how can you try to align yourself with those fucking people? Like, we all want the same thing, right?
A little bit of circle back to a callback there. And you're absolutely right. We all want the same thing, except nobody wants to do something where it's harming other people.
No.
That's not what our side's doing. So we don't want the same thing. But still, he's now going to be coming here to Ottawa to fly the Thunderbird and try to request National Socialism. And it concerns the fuck out of me a lot. Not just because Nazi flag on the hill, because I don't think I have any more explanation that needs to be said except for just that. But there's also another protest going on there. And it's going to be from Chiefs of Ontario.
Wait. Halt. Just 1 second. I just want to acknowledge, again, TikTok scientist. Why are your fingers are pink at the top?
I think I got a color problem with my screen. I'm looking at my fingers normally. I think it's just a color.
TikTok scientist made an awesome point today. And that was how Tamara Lich kept saying that the swastika was planted to make their movement look bad. Meanwhile, Mathieu Van and Adrien are trying to re-erect the swastika, and there is Tamara Lich hugging Mathieu Van and like telling him to keep up the good fight.
Did he make a video about that?
It was somebody else who took the video. Yeah, he did. There was no
video. So yeah, if somebody compiled that together.
Post. But it's when she said keep up the good fight, we need to see it from another video because Mathieu Van is yelling so fucking loud, but she turns the other way.
Yeah.
So probably Karima or Lee or whatever has that footage. But whoever was behind got it, and she ends up saying like keep up the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's promoting Convoy. Like, how does she get to fucking say that?
It's true.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're little. It's up to the Crown if they want to do anything with it. Hopefully, they do. But again, I don't know. I don't know what they get to do legally. But still, it's an excellent point. It's like, all these things were planned. I'm like, you know what? We've got you supporting ththese guys, supporting Matt Venn. Here you go, hugging him or whatever. side by side with him wearing the Thunderbird shirt at Thunderbird events and everything else. It's not a plant. It's these are your people in your house doing this shit. What more do you want? For fuck's sakes.
Yep.
They're tired.
And you were talking about, sorry, I interrupted. So there is a there is
Yes.
a protest
So-
coming. Thank you.
On
For my
September
bad.
20th. Yeah, that's okay. Still good valid points. So on September 20th, aside from the Million Man March and the Million Man March and the Thunderbird March, there's also September 20th, there is the Chiefs of Ontario doing a protest at the Hill. And I believe this is where Adrian's trying to get into also. So this particular protest, and I think we discussed this a little bit in the last episode, has to do with their protests in regards to Bill C-53. And it has to do with changes that the government wants to pass in regards to the status of Métis. And they have a lot of issues and problems with it. And I've read a bit about it. Don't understand the whole thing clearly, but from what I can see in their issues with it, there's complexity to that they understand very well, and it's very significant to their cause. And so that's totally fair. You're protesting a bill that affects you, and should I get a chance to get up there to talk to them, I'd love to hear more from them in regards to it, because to understand their point of view on it. So while these chiefs are going to be protesting these things, in comes Adrien declaring an indigenous movement while holding the Thunderbird. How do you think that's going to go down? Plus, the Thunderbird, which is, again, directly looks like the Third Reich symbol, is also going to be viewed by Kamel coming up with his all faith people, which I'm pretty sure might include a few Jewish people if he gets lucky.
Kamel
Looking at that.
doesn't know a fucking thing about anything. So he's not Camille, whatever. He's not going to understand what he's looking at. He's dumb as fuck.
Oh yeah,
he's dumb as nails.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but he may not recognize the symbol. But I have a hard time believing that nobody in his group's not going to look at that going, bro, where did you bring us to?
Yeah, maybe, but I think the people he brings out are the uneducated village people, to be honest with you. I'm not even kidding. Like that's what we call them in Egypt. Like they are just village people. Like they don't really have
it just takes one to talk to each other, one that recognizes it, that the group itself trusts.
Well, let's hope.
Just grabs their phone and looks up and like, no, this is from there. What the hell? Where are we here? What's going on? This might turn into a weird ass fucking mess on the 20th.
Maybe. We'll see. Honestly, I don't think those, like the Muslims that he brought out both to the OCDSB meeting and to the first original one were not that smart. Like I listened to them. I listened to them speak in Arabic and I listened to them speak in English. They were not educated. They were not intelligent. I mean, they tried. Honestly, if you're educated, you're not going to be a bigot. I think. Like if you're actually educated in the topic, unless you are a white supremacist who's trying to like control everything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. We'll see if there's a new group added to their Muslim group. But what I saw from my own personal experience, the people that I saw and heard them speak are not that intelligent. They're fucking dumb. They're like the convoy people. They're fucking dumb. You ask them to spell. If they were spelling in Arabic, I bet you they'd have spelling mistakes everywhere too. Just like when we fucking, and I'm not talking like typos or whatever, because that shit happens. I get it. I'm talking about thinking that you don't know how to spell, like seeing that you don't actually know how to spell a word, or you don't understand the meaning of a word and you use it in the wrong context.
So it's basically like Arabic versions of your.
Yes.
Yeah.
On like these people are
They're.
fucking Carl, Chris Dacey, Christine, Douglas, fucking morons of the earth, just a different part from a different region. That's what they are. They're not educated. They're just dumb. That's
They found somebody to lead them.
Right. 100%. And
These
Kamal is only very happy to take on that role because that's all he wants, is to be the shining light for these people. That's all it is.
It is. Speaking of the Carls and so on and so forth, now get up to Wellington Street from the weekend.
Assholes.
So, I'm going to play the clip. I might pause at a couple of places to discuss.
Yep.
But, yeah, it stars somebody we know.
She's beautiful and intelligent.
Okay, here we go.
There she is.
You guys ready for this? I hope you can see it well. This is a mask. This is a mask.
You guys love it?
So this is gonna
Did you
go
find Freedom Baby yet?
on my arm because I can't find Freedom Baby yet.
Nice.
This will do. For now, Freedom Baby's mom. I have more. Just the two this time.
This is where Mimi's seen here. She's got the mask at some point.
Yeah. Mimi took my mask.
Guys, I think I want a donation jar. I think I got me a new donation jar. You guys want to steal? Steal. Mine. Fucking mine. I'll put you guys right in here. This is my camera stand. They want to steal. Steal my phone. Twice. Steal my gimbal. Steal $20 out of my purse that belonged to my daughter. Steal my cape. Now steal one of my posters that was on my back, just like they did with Freedom Baby. That's who they are, folks.
So you harass people and you
Don't come close to me. You call the cops. You call them right now. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Take this. Hey.
Yeah, so real quick pause there, which you guys may not have seen. So right at this point here is where Mimi tries to grab your hair, correct?
Yep. No, you're still a little bit too late.
Am I?
I don't even see Mimi in the frame in this one. I don't know what you guys see.
Okay, so
I see the Carl has the flag.
So
there.
Carl has the flag here, and right at this point here is you're going to see diving in there, Mimi grabbing basically Mimi trying to grab your hair.
She did grab my hair. She wasn't trying. She grabbed my fucking hair.
Fair enough. My apologies. Sorry, misphrased it.
Hey!
Right there, she's grabbed it.
Put your hands down. You did that. You did that.
That's awful. I was facing you the whole time.
You fucking did that. You
You're a stupid fucking bitch.
The contagion. You are the contagion. By the way, do you know what?
No one was gonna choke anyone.
Agent.
No one was gonna choke anyone.
Contagion.
This wasn't right. You guys have to fucking go.
I didn't do anything.
No, you guys have to go. You guys are
Agent. That's what you guys are. Cunt. Agent.
Mimi's son, by the way, which you're looking at right now.
Yeah, he's just as fucking nutso as she is. Now, keep in mind, you guys, just because you didn't see this part, you forgot to put this in, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Mimi was putting my mask on her head at the time, but I didn't see that. when they were accosting a man across the street, I went over and stood by that man. He had called me over, actually, because Mimi was trying to whatever, and he called me over because the day before, or 2 days before, he didn't recognize me and thought that I wasn't on his team, but then realized, oh, you're the girl from the church, so, you know, whatever. It was good. We were on it, whatever. So he called me over, so I went over. And we were chatting. And as we're chatting, Mimi's standing there and she's like on the other side recording. And there's my fucking mask on her shin. And that's on my live stream. And I even address it. So she stole my mask. She stuck it on her leg. She stuck a sticker on the mask. Okay. And so I'm like, what the fuck? You guys steal my shit. You fucking take my shit. Should I just take a flag of yours? Should I just take one of your posters? Is that how this works? And they're all just looking at me. You know, they think they're all, okay, fine. You know what? I am going to take something then. If that's how it fucking works. So that's why I went and grabbed the jug. Yeah. And they keep saying, we found your cape on the ground. We found your mask on the ground. Where did I find their fucking jug, everybody? Where was their fucking jug? On the ground. You want to fucking play that game? I told the cop, if my purse was on the ground, does that mean they just get to keep my purse because it's on the ground and they found my purse? Give me a fucking break. So anyway, she has it on her leg, and it's important to know this because she's in front of me now with my mask on her leg. Go ahead.
Is that the official term?
Yep. Just whatever the fuck you are.
Big glass in her hand.
You're gonna go home. Go home and sleep well.
There's the mask. Rewind a little bit. No, you can still see it. She's gonna turn around and you're gonna see it.
Make one phone call. I told you guys, get along.
There it is.
So it's right there on her. Yeah, I'm trying to move it. So
left
it's on
leg.
her. Yeah, on the left leg, closest to Deana right now, on the bottom leg.
Not closest to Deana. Oh, well, I guess so. Yeah, it is close.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Correct.
So it's on the side that's closest to, at least on the two-dimensional.
Yeah. You're right.
I like it when she says I'm right. It happens so rarely.
Joe, you're right. Left leg. That's right. All right.
No longer fucking going down the stairs.
That wouldn't have broken if Mimi didn't try to grab her camera out of her hand. You wanted your tips?
There's my grabbing it, and then
you
she
just threw glass at
me.
her. Don't put hands on her.
Enough, okay? I had enough with this shit.
Again, 2 times now, 3 times.
And she tries to steal my
4
purse.
times.
Come on, bitch.
Go back to your fucking game.
You have a fight here. She broke a big piece of glass. And we're done with
Stay back.
Start fights. So please bring an officer.
Look, she's still trying to fight me, the dumb bitch. Holy.
So, yeah. No, so it's one of those. I just want to sort of focus on at that particular point. It's like they're trying to say like you're trying to start fighting like 4 times at this point. She's just done something aggressive. She's thrown glass at you.
Right?
She's pushed. This is the only thing wasn't quite clear, but definitely something there. She was either pushing or trying to grab you. I wasn't quite clear there. She then tried to go into your purse.
I love where you paused it, by the way. Look at that fucking face. Screen grab that shit, would you? Look at that.
I can't do the good screen grab here because I gotta minimize.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody who's kind enough they can screen grab for you if they're
Yes,
watching.
please.
But again, so yeah, we'll do the list again. So she starts off with throwing glass right at you, and I think that's when you got cut, right?
Yep, that's exactly when I got cut.
And understand, a cut so severe, as Dean will get into more detail about it, that it took a bit, but eventually realized a tendon has been cut, and she's incapable of bending her thumb backwards.
I just took off the thing
Yeah.
because it's wet because I took a shower and didn't cover. I just want to show you guys. This is all I can do with this thumb. Do you know what I used to be able to do? Yes, I'm weird. I'm double jointed. I could do this. I could still bend it. Probably shouldn't be because I'm supposed to keep it straight, but I can still bend it. I just don't have the muscle anymore, or the tendon, excuse me, to be able to work it anymore.
So a cut so severe that it cut the tendon. There's now surgery that's going to be required.
And I want to thank Terry for making that planting that fucking seed in my head, because I wouldn't have noticed.
I also want to thank Terry too, and I from this day forth, I just want to send out because I know Terry likes to watch, and I thank you for watching us too.
Yes.
I also told her to go to the hospital, and she didn't listen to
A
me.
lot of people did. So now
I know.
I have this thing that is going to help me keep my thing on, just because I don't have tape with me. So this is one of my thumb cozies, and it's also named Mimi.
What a dick.
What a dick.
So first part, glass. Second part, there was a grab or push. I couldn't quite tell. Third, it was the grabbing for the purse, and then the fourth, she was just still trying to fight you. And the entire time, these guys are like, you're aggressive. You're trying to fight her. And fourth times, they're getting in the way of her trying to get to you. Like,
and I'm just fucking like, I'm staying in my little space.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to get at them, whatever. Yeah, the whole time. Sat back down. Yep. Oh, there's more. There's more.
And take this person away.
There's only two genders, you motherfuckers.
Okay, SG Fox is...
He's such a goof.
He is. And he's like, he thinks
goof.
he's doing something and making something, but it's... Every time he opens his mouth, that's the only thing he says. There's only two genders. Cool.
Oh, wait, you forgot.
Describe to me what the genders
Trudeau.
are. Yeah, he's just sound bites that he hears, and you can't test him on it because he doesn't understand what he's saying at all. And I'm just like, oh, but you need to just stop because you just make yourself look worse.
He's a goof. You're a goof, SG Fox.
How's the anniversary of 3 Stitches?
You can't even stand on your own. Against 10 of you? Fuck you, bitch.
Fucking stupid.
Pardon me?
Fuck you. I said, fuck you.
We all want the same thing, right?
Yeah, we all want the same.
We all want the same thing, right? What line?
I told you, get along.
You have a line?
Your man spreading line?
But she's laughing at it because she gets away with murder.
Because you're with her? You're...
I'm gonna take it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't want you to step in the glass and get hurt.
Watch. Watch what he does.
Actually, Mimi broke it. She was mad because... Yeah.
And I grabbed her phone, but she dropped her phone. And my nail broke.
Grab the hat off her head.
Yeah, that still hurts. This hurts more than my cut. My nail being gone.
You're weird with... Okay, before we get into any more of this, you're just weird with pain. And you and I have already had a discussion about this. Like, you're weird with pain. Like childbirth hurts. I'm like, I have no doubt. I'm like, but you got cut so severely that a tendon, I've seen you have your ear cut open. Like, I've been with you in ear. Like, I'm right now looking at a medic course, like first aid, just because of you.
For me.
Yeah. I want to do it. So
we need to bring a needle and thread wherever we go, just so I can quickly stitch myself up.
Yeah, I'm just duct tape and crazy glue. So I'm actually looking to a first aid course. And it's a weekend course. It's a 2-day thing. I don't know, Deana, just want to come take it with me?
Yeah, I'll do it again. I need a refresher. That sounds like a great idea.
All right, so we'll book a weekend coming up or whatever, and we'll do that because after that, then I'll get some better knowledge. I'll probably talk to Terry a little bit more, and to make sure I have a good med kit, and I'll have some better knowledge as to what I want to get. And I'll probably talk to her in regards to this is the injuries I need to watch out for Deana. What should I pack? But
listen,
also
I think I could have taken all 10 of them, but there were weapons involved. So
I have no doubt.
You know what's weird, actually? And ask Camilla, verify this with her. I was looking for a glove, and she even told me that there was such a thing and looked for it. I wanted a glove that can resist getting cut. Because if somebody pulls a knife, I want to be able to fucking grab that knife. So Camilla's like, oh, there's the impossible glove, I think is what she called it, that she saw on TikTok. And then so she was like Googling it. And it was literally, man, I should have just fucking ordered it because Had I been wearing them
Yeah.
when that
Keith-
happened, I wouldn't be
yes.
needing surgery.
Yeah, so there's some
Chef's
good
glove,
things
too.
and bad things to it. Yeah, there's absolutely gloves
can't
that
go on
are
my
knife
phone.
proof. Sorry?
I wouldn't be able to go on my phone and like touch the touch screen.
Maybe. Don't forget, I've got some fancy gloves where I got them on, my winter
I
ones
know,
there.
but I want to not have it cut through the glove. That's the goal here, right? So
Yeah. I get.
yeah,
You give me the problem. Let me tell you the solution.
sure.
That's how this works. This is how this works. You bring me the situation, and you bring me so many. I will come out with the solution. That's how this works.
Isn't that
best.
shitty that that's how I think, though? Like, these guys are
Yeah.
getting so violent that I need to start thinking of protection because, and
I've
I'm not
already-
going to stop. Like, this
Yeah.
is the thing. They're trying to get me to fucking stop, and I'm not going to stop until they stop. Go away, and I'll go away.
Yeah. I'm already considering gloves for myself, and that's just mostly because of that stupid thing I did back in Montreal, where I messed up my hand.
Right.
That wasn't even involved with anything else. I just fell over because I was an idiot. I just think it's probably going to be a good thing just to have gloves for hand protection in regards to falling. There is impossible gloves. I know about those that are really, really good for protection in regards to hand against knives. But they also, basically, anything that's good is going to be good for something. It's going to cost something else. So I don't know. Like, one of the things about those gloves, they might be heavy.
Yeah.
So that might be something to worry about. They may interfere with usage of phone. They may not, because again, I've got some gloves that allows me to use them with my phone because they allow the contact to go through, even though it still protects.
Yeah, I have that for winter gloves. Like I bought gloves like that. Yeah.
I got some winter gloves that do that too.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of little things that can go back and forth in regards to that. So there's all sorts of options and whatnot. We can take a look. We can try to kind of figure it out. It's yeah.
Anyway, whatever. I'm just saying, like, that's what I was thinking of doing. And then all of a sudden, this fucking, like, maybe I called it on or something, but that's what happened to me. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, I have a plastic surgeon appointment. They're going to do the consultation, and then they're going to book the surgery.
Did they say what time? What kind of estimation you're looking at the surgery?
They're going to have to do it as soon as possible, because I think I only have a time frame before I lose the opportunity to be able to use my thumb like it used to work. And then I'll need physiotherapy and stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I know that my son did the same thing with his pinky, and he came a couple days later because he was in Toronto when he did it. So it's almost the same timing. So I feel like,
so it's your right hand, right?
Yeah, my right hand. So listen, this is the shitty thing.
It's the megaphone hand.
It doesn't matter. That's okay. I've been carrying my stick and everything. I can do all, because it doesn't hurt, right? And it's keeping this straight, whatever. But I write with my left hand. So that hasn't impeded that. But
are you left-handed?
Sort of. When I write, it's with my left hand. When I do everything else, I'm right-handed. I cut with right-handed scissors, probably because I lived in a house full of right-handed people, and that's how I learned. I can write with my right hand as well. It's just more natural with my left hand. But I use a knife with my right hand. I play baseball. Just a second. Yeah, baseball. If I was to play golf, which I'm not that great at. I'm right-handed. Hockey, I'm right-handed, but when it's writing, and I have nice writing, it's with my left hand.
If you were to shoot a gun right now, like just holding, which hand would you pick?
I would use my left hand. I'd use both hands.
Okay.
If I were to shoot an arrow,
That's another one.
I would go back with my right hand and hold the bow with...
Such a dick.
And I would hold the bow with my left hand. I'm a pistol.
I need to check the content warnings on our channel to make sure it's no. It's mature content and adult because Deana.
Here is
Don't
my
ma-
rifle. Here is my gun.
Yeah, don't make us go to Rumble. That I think is going to be coming up to close to the end for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's 11:11. Make a wish.
Make a wish.
Deana's not in jail yet either. Jody!
Always a good thing. I always need a stronger drink.
Mimi.
Always. All right. So again, continuing on with everything we've got. A couple of notes. So one of the particular stories that I mentioned here is the Ottawa the Ottawa OPSB lawsuit right now being filed against them. Go ahead, jump to my link tree. You can find it on my Twitter account, my Facebook page, my threads, my this, my that. Basically anything that has a link, I'll have it in my bio. You can go take a look at the link tree that's up at the top. Also, additionally, the Mrs. Chair's Assassin Caged GoFundMe is still in there if you guys want to help out. They still have the same lawsuit, and they're still having threats coming towards them from the people making those threats, which are pretty crazy, radical right-wing people.
Yes. And they're trying to come into my space too. Aren't you the one that donated and all this bullshit? They can go they can go meet a Mimi.
Yeah, they can. Well, you know what? And I'm okay if they come towards us because what are they going to do?
Somebody's asking if I'm going to be charging Mimi. I'm waiting for my consultation tomorrow with the plastic surgeon. I'm going to have all the medical that I need, and then I'm going to go to the police station and file the police report. Mimi, it's coming. Not just Mimi. You too, Douglas. You're a fucking accomplice.
So that said,
Carl,
keep an eye on
too,
our link tree. It feels like punching down.
Don't care.
I know.
If that's the way that they're going to fucking get the fuck out of here because they're violent pieces of shit, so be it.
Again, anyway. Yeah. So wrapping up, again, still in that link tree, jump into mine. Ottawa Activism is there. You guys can jump into it. Join us as we're working and discussing things, including things like September 20th and any other actions going on.
We need defenders.
We absolutely need defenders.
On Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yes. Nug said that you keep talking. I'm going to see if Nug sent me the information so I can give you everybody the information now. We need defenders on Saturday in Vanier, another drag story time. And those guys are going to come and try to take pictures of the kids again. And they're all scary and crazy. We want to block them. We need banners. We need umbrellas. I'll get it. I'll just check real quick.
So I'll shorten that up a bit in regards to obviously be following Deana or I figure if you guys are watching this, we already are. For September 20th, for this weekend in regards to any events going on. By sounds of it, something might be. It's going to be pretty short. So follow us. We'll send out an alert as soon as we get the information guaranteed so that people can come join with us. Join us in our activism. We'll also definitely send out the message there in regards to call for help. And between Saturday and then, don't forget to join us on our spaces as we're going to be letting you guys come up and speak with us.
I found it. Oh, no. Never mind.
We'll do it a little bit later.
Here it is. Saturday, September 9th.
Yes, we're doing this.
If it's this Saturday, then it is. If it's in the same place, it's in the Riverain Park, Ball Diamond, 400 North River Road. Is that what it says? No, never mind. Forget me. I apologize. I don't know. I'll wait till I get the details. My bad.
We'll get the details for you. We'll send you guys out. If there is an event coming up and that needs a defense, we'll let you guys know. And we'll definitely get it out on Twitter, as well as to all the other socials that we have that we can. Till then, again. And we'll probably remind you guys on Friday night as we do the space. till then,
Twitter Spaces.
absolutely.
Bye.
We will. No, I need 30 seconds.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Don't go yet.
Yeah, don't go yet. Don't go yet. We need to give you something else.
Chris Barber's a goof, always causing strife. With his silly antics, he disrupts our life. His jokes are gas, it's hard to bear. He thinks he's funny, but we just don't care. Chris Barber, you're such a goof, always making shit up. Freedom from truth. Chris Barber, it's time to go. Your honking reminds me of a clown. Chris Barber, oh what a goof, thinks freedom's only about his own roof. Money, money, that's all he sees, blinded by a gun, room for empathy. But freedom, oh it's so much more. It's not measured by the wealth you store. Together we stand, united we'll strive for freedom.